Have you ever wondered how reporters are so quickly able to publish an article about a newly filed complaint or indictment so soon after the court filing was made? In this video, I'm going to tell you the technique they use to do their news reporting and how you as an attorney can use this very same technique to help get better coverage for your cases. Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollock. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys and their clients ethically, strategically, and proactively engage the court of public opinion to help those clients resolve their cases favorably and to help those attorneys build their practices. I wanted to talk in this video about media embargoes. An embargo is an agreement on the part of a reporter or a media outlet to not publish certain information until a date and time that is mutually agreed upon and that is usually a little bit later in the future. These agreements are not necessarily in writing. Typically, they are made orally first between a reporter and an attorney or some other news source like a PR person or an executive, and then the reporter will confirm in writing that they agree to the embargo. You often see embargoes throughout the media if you know where to look. I'll give you a great example that you can see the next time this happens. When a new iPhone is released, typically you will notice that a bunch of well-known tech reviewers publish their review of the new iPhone the night before or the morning of the iPhone being released. That is almost certainly a result of an embargo where Apple gives these reviewers a copy of or gives them a new iPhone to play with for a couple weeks, but they cannot publish their report or their review of the iPhone until the day that Apple agrees to or that they have mutually agreed upon, which is typically a day or two before the new iPhone actually comes out. For attorneys, using embargoes embargoes are a powerful tool that attorneys can use to help tell their client stories and those attorneys' own stories more powerfully. And I'll tell you why. When you are working with a reporter and you give a reporter an embargoed copy of a complaint or some other court filing, you're giving the reporter a head start in his or her reporting. You're giving them an opportunity a few days before you actually file the document to do their research, to perhaps talk to you and or a client. Maybe you can point them to a law professor who can talk specifically about a particular issue. But you're giving them time to report. And in exchange for giving them time to report, assuming they cover your story, your article will be much more substantive than simply a 300-word news brief that's thrown up on a website, a news website, soon after the document's filed because the reporter was in a race to get something published as soon as possible. With the use of an embargo, you as an attorney have the opportunity to help tell your clients' stories and your own stories more quickly and more powerfully. With an embargo, you are able to help tell your client's stories more effectively and more substantively because you're giving a reporter a heads up and you are giving them a chance to do some reporting that they might not otherwise have. Some attorneys push back and they say, well, how do I know that the reporter is going to honor the embargo? How do I know that the reporter is not going to screw me? And I'll tell you what I tell those other attorneys and clients. A reporter is not in the business of screwing other attorneys when it comes to this kind of information. A reporter very much values his or her sources, especially when the reporter deems those sources to be credible. A reporter does not want to burn a source of good information both now and a source of good information potentially in the future. So reporters have to worry about their own credibility and they have to worry about them maintaining relationships with you and other news sources. So that's one reason why they're not likely to screw you. A second reason why is because no reporter in the right mind would want to file a story that talks about a lawsuit having been filed that wasn't filed. A, it's not news, it's not a correct article, and B, they could be liable for defamation if they are quoting or allegedly quoting from a complaint or court filing that was never made. So all in all, embargoes are powerful tools for reporters to help those reporters tell stories more substantively, and they're a very impactful tool for attorneys and their clients to help those attorneys and clients tell their stories powerfully. The next time, and impactfully, the next time that you have a story that you think is newsworthy, especially if it's in the form of a court filing, I would highly recommend you explore the option or the potential of an embargo, going to target reporters and seeing if they would be interested in an embargoed copy of the complaint or court filing. You're going to have to obviously talk in generalities and not give specific information until they've agreed on the embargo, but you could certainly frame the issue as, we represent a certain company or a certain client who is suing a certain kind of defendant regarding these certain issues, these legal claims, these factual claims. Would you be interested in seeing an embargoed copy of the complaint? I think you'll find that when you talk to the media, embargoes are going to be a necessary tool. I use them frequently. I can tell by reading articles when they're used by other attorneys and their PR teams. I think that you will find embargoes to be extremely powerful and extremely valuable as you engage the court of public opinion on behalf of your clients and yourself.